Hello and welcome to season 4 of Own Your Divine Light show. Our topic today is how to accelerate ascension during times of chaos and pandemic. I am Isla Serona Miller. This is the magical name of Janet, and I'm stepping into this more and more. And we've all been going through so much, and it's been feeling like things are starting to lift, but there's still so much on the horizon that's unknown. And we are meant to create a new way of being. And today's special guest is so exciting to have her, Vibecke Garnaas, and she is a spiritual coach. And welcome, Vibecke. And I'm going to tell them a little more about you.
Thank you, Janet. It's such a great honor to be here and to be able to share my soul purpose with you and all the people watching. So thank you.
Oh, it's so wonderful to have you, Vibecke. And I'll tell you a little more about her. Vibecke is a spiritual coach, a speaker, a channel for the high frequency energies of Zarius and the Order of Seven. And she is a New Earth strategist for a nonprofit organization, which is the Soul Energy in Motion. And she serves Mother Earth and humanity in the universe by bringing in the vibration of the new earth into the dimension of unity through soul energy in motion. I mean, what a powerful calling you have, Vibecke. It's amazing. And what a great foundation for people. So as a spiritual coach and speaker channel since 2008, Vibecke's passion is helping heart-centered people on their mission to create sustainable growth. She is the author and channel of the book Awaken to the Power of the Universe by Zarius and the Order of Seven. Vibecke hosts the podcast series Spiritual Quest with Vibecke Garnaas, always guided by spirit. This is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. She has been featured in the New York Times, Good Morning Norway, The Sixth Sense, and other Scandinavian shows. Vibecke is on a soul's journey to embody all that we are all one. In spirit, we are all alike. And in knowing this, there is no discrimination. Wow. Those
Ooh,
are
I get goosebumps when you read that. I say it all the time, but Janet, hearing you those words.
It gives me goosebumps, Vibecke. It's because it's so important right now to understand.
It is so powerful. Yes.
It's extremely powerful. And when I read that, I was like, oh, wow, that is the most beautiful, beautiful mission that you've taken, and you understand it so well, and you're ready, you're here bringing it out to people. So welcome. So honored to have you here. And your journey, it's been deep and long in so many ways, Vibecke, and your awakening to your gifts has provided so much support to people. So of course we have to ask a little, how did your awakening journey start?
I would say, Janet, that I've been awakened my whole life. And why I say that is ever since I was a child, I've had this other world with me. And of course, like adults usually say, it's your fantasy, it's not real. But to me, it was my whole world. So even from as long as I can remember consciously as a child, I had Zarius playing with me. He was with me all the time. And so it wasn't until high school, a teacher actually asked a question and said, what are you students doing after college? Do you know? And I was the only one who raised my hand. And he said, well, do you know? And I go, yes, I am going to Walt Disney World to work for Disney World and be an ambassador for Norway. And everybody just looked at me and they go, what? And remember, Janet, I am 45. So this is pretty long time ago, right? Yeah, and so it wasn't that easy, going to the States, and it was pretty far and expensive and kind of, strange for people to travel to the States and do this kind of work. And so I knew it. And my friend asked me and she goes, how do you know? And I said, well, don't you know what's going to happen to you? And she goes, no, I do not know. And that was such an enlightening moment because I suddenly understood that my world and the world that other people or my peers at that time was not resonating within the beauty of what I experienced. So my joyfulness that I had as a child and wanting to follow my inner guidance, I was actually called a stubborn child because I did not want to do what my parents told me to do because it did not make any sense why I should follow their rules. When Zarius had taught me to be myself and how important that is for my energy and to take care of myself and my light so I could stay on purpose. So even as a child, I knew this. But then, of course, the teenage years, the psychology of the human mind, you start wanting to fit in, and I kind of lost my tracking. But I still had my visions. And I could sense Zarius in the background because I started to kind of, I would say, alienate him a little bit. I was like, no, I want to do this on my own. I'm independent. I have to be more like the others. So I started kind of seeking out external pleasure, if you wish, to find joy outside myself. And I did what most people do. I lost my sense of self. I started to live from the human mind in how we interpret a joyful life, what needs to be present for you to be happy, not the core happiness, by living in tune with who you truly are in your natural rhythm. And so I decided that this way of life was exciting, but it wasn't, there was something missing. So this happened when I was in my mid-20s, I guess. And I remember Janet sitting by the kitchen table with my mother. And she knew this because I told her everything as I grew up, everything that happened, what Zaria said. And she kind of knew, my experience with the other side. And she always listened. So she was very good at just allowing me to tell my story or share my experiences. And I said, Mom, I wonder if I'm going to die. And she goes, what? I think I'm going to die. And as I said those words, I remember, Janet, I had this arising feeling from my core, from my gut, from Mother Earth, coming up and saying, no, my child. And that's all I got, no, my child. And I get goosebumps when I talk about it because I can still remember the fear of dying in that moment, even though I had the knowing of everything around me and my whole life and living from the soul state, it was still, am I going to die in the age of 30? Because I saw me having 2 children at the age of 30. I told my parents about this. I'm going to get 2 girls, the first one when I'm 30. And all this happened. It all turned out just the way I was envisioned. But what I did not see is that when you're used to, Janet, seeing your whole life play out kind of like a movie, with all your senses attached to that movie, and suddenly nothing. Wow. You start questioning. Of course, it was black, it was dark. And I said, okay, I can feel, no, my child, I'm not going to die. But what am I expecting? What is going to happen? But of course, I got my children, and my focus was on them. But then I hit the great big wall. We all, the stress of being a newly mother, not being happy where I was in life, losing my connection with spirit, not losing, but kind of pushing it away, and lost my footing in life. I rushed forward to try to find pleasure, to find what I had inside as a child. I started to seek out there. Where could I find it? Because I couldn't remember how it was to go inside and just be. And so I remember what happened is that when I hit that wall, I was laying in my bed. I was drained. I felt bad. I felt all the negative emotion, low vibration emotions of fear, guilt, shame, all these emotions filling me because I had beautiful children. I had a husband that loved me and supported my journey, who I was, accepted me for who I am. Even Zarius that I've talked about. We had bought a new house. Everything was perfect from the outside.
Right, right.
And I was just so miserable, so unhappy.
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah.
I remember saying, dear God, Zarius, the order of 7. I didn't know about the order at that time, but Zarius I knew about. And I just said, let me die. If that's the meaning, I don't want to feel this way anymore. Let me die. And in that moment, in that single second of a moment, when that finally I got to that, I'm giving up. I can't fight anymore. I heard my soul.
Oh my gosh.
Speak. And all I heard was, I love you. It's going to be okay.
Wow.
And I almost cried because it's such a profound moment for me, Janet, that if I could only help people understand how important and how powerful we are, we can transform our lives. And even in our darkest moments, there is always a light shining.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna.
That is when that is when I discovered my life path, and I said, one step at a time, and I turned my focus towards that voice because I love the lovingness of that voice, the vibration of that voice, that unconditional love that I was filled with. It just lighted up my room. It shifted something so deeply within myself that I almost forgot how, in that second, how hard everything had been. It was in a second. It was a miracle, is what we would call it.
Yeah.
And from that moment, I took one step at a time. And I started to open up, and I said to Zarius, this is kind of funny, Janet, because they do have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
I said, how am I supposed, now I'm adult, how am I supposed to trust in my ability that I was born with? Now I've lived so out of alignment. I don't trust myself. I ended up in the darkness.
Sure. Dark night of the soul. Yeah.
So I need to build that trust. And he said, I'm here for you. What do you need? And the only thing I could figure out, because in Norway we had this TV show, The Sixth Sense, where people who's clairvoyant, they compete to be the best clairvoyant. And I had never done anything. I hadn't had taken a course. I had not done anything at all. And I thought, okay, so if I have my gift, as you telling me I have a gift, I couldn't speak to anybody else about this. I had nobody in my family to talk to about this. But if I do have this gift, then it wouldn't be a problem for me to go in and attend and be picked to be on that show. And I told my husband, and he goes, kind of weird.
Sure, because he didn't know, where did that come from, right? Where did that come from? Yep.
But he said, I love you. I support you.
How beautiful. How beautiful.
And so I did, Janet. And, the rest is history. So I said, if I get on the show, I made an agreement with Spirit. I said, I promise to always be guided by Spirit.
So how did that show go? Did it just, everything opened up?
It was a kind of a hard process because you had to go through a lot of tests. Sure. I had never been in a setting where you had to be tested if you have a gift. I mean, I'm just me. I'm just, okay, what are you telling me? Okay, then this is what I'm getting. Okay. I don't know if it's right or wrong. I had no clue. I just did. And so I ended up being picked to be on the show.
How fabulous.
To compete with other people. And the funny part about this, Janet, is that my agreement was to be picked to be on the show. I forgot to say I was going to win the show.
Right. Oh,
So I
darn.
got on the show, but I was the first one out.
Oh, no.
I thought that was hilarious because everybody, oh, that's so sad. And I go, no, you don't get it. That was not the agreement. I need to be more clear next time.
Well, there you go. This is exactly what we did in our grounding. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? Oh, my goodness. That's how clear we have to be, isn't it? Because we get exactly what we ask for.
Yes.
And sometimes it isn't really what we choose. Like you're saying, I forgot to say, I want to win too. But that's so great that you even understood that. Like you saw that. You said, okay, he's fulfilled the agreement. I fulfilled my agreement. Yeah.
So
That's
that's
so
how I
cool.
started. So I just feel like I don't separate myself from, my awakening, because I know that being in the dark side was part of the all awakening life as a human. I mean, I understand. I've always felt I'm a soul
Yeah,
traveling. I'm on a soul journey right now.
sure.
So I've had this sense of separateness, but oneness my whole life. Like I can watch and have the perspective of viewing everybody else because I had this world with me.
Mm-hmm.
So awakening for me was more accepting my gifts, accepting who I am.
Yes.
And when I started to accept myself with self-love and not trying to fit in, but just being authentic and myself,
Mm-hmm.
that's when everything started to happen with Zarius and the Order of Seven. And
That's
that's when I
amazing.
started to seek out tools, if you wish, Janet, that I didn't have prior,
Sure.
to learn how to assist others. So I went to get my coaching certificate, and I went to the Michael Newton Institute and became
Yes.
trained as the Life Between Lives hypnotherapist, which has been the most amazing thing, because when I, as a facilitator, bring people back on this on the soul state or the soul level,
Mm-hmm.
they're experiencing the world that I always experienced. So I feel so at home.
Wow.
So I kind of found myself as a human being and my gifts, and started to facilitate that way. And that's how I brought my life. That's how my soul purpose came about.
Wow. You came full circle. You've done that whole hero's journey when you think about it, because you told your mom you thought you would die, and you actually did. You did a rebirth. You did a rebirth that day. As you were saying, I'm like, she's reborn because you surrendered, which is everything you hear. We have to surrender. You have to surrender. And you did. You said, I'll die. And you were willing to go to that level, which is surrender.
Mm.
And then you were told, no, it's not your time. I'm here for you. And then that dark night just lifted and everything changed. I mean, that's the miracles of what this journey is all about. Everything you just shared was such a beautiful, exactly the way the journey can unfold. If you choose it, you've got to choose that, like you did. You saw the external doesn't work. I tried the same thing. I tried going out, like pulling away, like, oh, this isn't exactly what I want. I mean, I grew up with things. I didn't have a gift like you, like right away or anything, but I had ideas and thoughts, and I was always stubborn and very difficult. So, I was 3 years old walking down the street with my suitcase. I'm leaving, you
Yeah.
know, and my mother and father are like, what? And they had to
Where are you
chase me. I
going?
was literally walking up the street. They had to go chase me and bring me home. And I was always ready to leave home. I was never afraid to do that. And I actually had to do it finally at 19, but it's okay. It's my journey. And, I needed that to separate myself. Like you had to separate yourself, as far as knowing that your journey was, your family was part of it, but you still had to be true to who you were. And you called that back. You called it back. And how beautiful. Oh my goodness. What a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing that, because it's so powerful for all of us to hear, because you're a living example of it. And
Thank you.
then your world just opened up. I know you've been everywhere. Like, look, people, the things you've done are incredible. Like, your life is just, like you say, your life has been like so wonderful. You've done adventures that you can't even imagine,
And
and
that is also, when you bring that up, I get humbled, and I feel so blessed when I hear it coming from you as well. I know I'm blessed, but it's a choice to be blessed.
yeah,
It's a choice to follow the guidance of spirit. I choose every day, and every second I need to choose, because do I choose my heart or do I choose my mind? Do I go with the intention of power, or do I go with the ego's willing for pleasure? What do I do? And who am I within that knowing? Both my ego mind and me. I've accepted my ego mind and love my ego mind in the way that I know it needs to teach me lessons. That's why I'm here, to have the ego mind, to experience the duality. I know how oneness feels. I do. And I can feel that oneness. I can feel that oneness when I'm out walking in nature. I can feel it when connecting soul to soul. I can feel how blessed we are as humans to be walking on Mother Earth. And the only, I guess, my driving force is to enlighten or help people to understand that when you love all of yourself, all your colors, and you allow the rhythm, your natural rhythm, and just be within that rhythm, everything becomes clear, because that's when you can listen. It's too much noise in the external world for us to listen, to properly listen to what our souls tell us, to listen to our heart. Yes, we can go and say, I follow my heart. Well, I see and hear what you're doing. And it is very seldom, if I can use that word, that I see people who is genuine in that oneness and understanding of living in oneness in the external world. And why is that? Well, the energy. Look at what's happening in the world. Based on that's why I was so excited to be part of your show, Janet, because you're addressing this now. And I think it's such an important thing to reconnect people to their own power, to their source within, to know that you have now come through this shift. The external world has changed. It's actually forced you to start thinking in a different way, good or bad, but it's made you think and reevaluate where you're at in life, what's important to you. These are gifts we need to open ourselves up to and see, how can I embrace this from a soul perspective, not from a fear, ego, mind perspective, but from the soul. Why did I choose to be on earth, to go through this shift, to experience this challenging time? I know that any soul chosen to be here in this time is powerful.
Yeah.
And that light, I know, will lift the vibration of Mother Earth and allow us to create a new future, a new world. If we just allow ourselves to be within oneness.
Yeah.
And choose to listen and be quiet. Just be quiet. We do not need to respond to everything that's going on out in the world. The solution is not found out in the world. It's all in the stillness. I usually say it like this, or Zarius told me this. He said, you need to understand that a heartbeat, the heart is the movement, the beat is the movement.
Yeah.
But in the flat line, and the line is where source reside. So think about it. To live, we need movement. But to connect with a true source within, you need to be still enough to understand, to listen to the vibrations of what you radiate. And you can only do that by stillness. That's the closest thing to a physical death.
Yeah.
Properly center yourself and go in and release and be still. And as we know, it makes sense. I mean, the flat line is the portal to the other world in the physical term.
Yes, isn't it? Yeah.
And so when he put it that way, I said, okay, so when you're stressed, the heart goes, that's not what you're interested in. The flat heartbeat, the slow, nice, harmonious heartbeat. That's, if we all can do that, do you know what's going to happen to Mother Earth? She is going to flourish.
I love that. Because then we're in resonance with her, aren't we? Then we're in resonance. I mean, this is what we saw last year when everything slowed right down. Animals came back to places that they hadn't seen in years and years. I mean, everything just like the world started to blossom in a new way that we hadn't seen. And now we're picking up speed again a little bit, not fully, but it's up there a little. So that is so true. So what do you, is this part of what you say sustainable growth is? Because you talk about sustainable growth and increase in people's frequencies. Is this part of what you're talking about to bring that in? Like when you
Yes.
connect to that stillness?
In our alignment, we talk mind, body, spirit. But when we start talking about activating and anchoring the heart vibration, which a lot of people are, slowly getting into through this shift, we're now not so, we're in line. We experience wholeness. And within that, that's when the alignment between Mother Earth, humanity, and the universe start having a greater effect on our lives and our consciousness. And so usually we're very focused on, we need to be in alignment to, get in contact with our soul and to find our soul purpose. But a lot of people have found their purpose. They're just working on how to facilitate it.
That's true.
And so now it's more about, how to do this. I mean, if you've been on the journey for a while, you know how to align yourself. You may not choose to do it, but that's a choice. But you know how to do it, right? And so you sometimes have to fight with your ego, but you know how to do it. And that's when you start to understand that you need to choose different ways of living at this moment, because the old one, with the shift, the energy of the old one way of living, it does not nourish you the way it did, because the shift has happened. The universal energy has shifted. So what means you have to now start looking at, how can I be that channel of love for Mother Earth, for humanity, and for the universe? If you take that one step further from spirit or mind, body, spirit, that's how it is. That's when oneness comes in. It's Mother Earth, humanity, and the universe. And that, when you start using your resources, your soul's resources, your gifts, by serving your mission, that's when the sustainable growth comes in. Because all you do is resonating within that vibration in oneness. And when you're in that, you are getting nourishment on a whole different level than we used to, because you weren't open to it. You weren't ready. Your physical body might not have been able to carry that vibration. So what we're doing now, what a lot of my clients, where I talk about my coaching clients, and we talk about how can we prepare our physical bodies to actually carry that frequency that is available and that's within you. Because our physical bodies has been put on, what do you call it? Trying to find the right word. It's been overloaded. I use that word because I can't find it. Overloaded of low vibrations.
Sure. Well, we've been bombarded from all kinds of vibrations, and it's almost like they wanted, I mean, I keep seeing it as all these distractions, so we won't go in. So we won't get into our soul's purpose. So we won't connect with our true God essence and who we're meant to be. Right?
Yes.
Exactly what you're saying.
Imagine, when you say this, imagine why people would, some some energies would kind of hold us back. I mean, it is darkness, it is light, but we choose the light. And we know when we choose, self-love, and you kind of, that key to the light is what switches on, and you emanate that light. The unconditional love is so powerful that nothing can stop you. And I mean nothing. I mean, I was in a dark room with that light lit on, and I just walked out of that room, and my husband was like, whoa, what happened? After 3 days in the dark room, I was like, what? You're up? So I know how transforming that light, when you accept that light and you understand that, okay, I don't need to think what's going to happen next week or next year or whatever. I just need to be in motion. I mean, physical movement as well. That's part of it. Taking back my life. And I know that in this shift, a lot of people have felt the fear. I mean, we have had losses. We've had horrible things happened worldwide. And it's so easy to be taken by that energy. But now is the time for purification after the shift. So Zodius and the Order of Seven called this year the prioritizing year. And I asked them, why do you call this? Why do you tell us to prioritize? You need to be clear. It's time to be clear on who you are and who you want to be. Because these are two different things.
Yeah.
Who you are and who you want to be. Because we have told ourselves these stories, and I found myself telling myself that story.
Yep.
And I found out that, well, no, that's not my story. Whose story is that? And that are the old patterns, the low vibrational patterns. And I actually had to go another round with myself, not in darkness this time, but because I catched it before, but I was low in vibration. I had to really look hard within myself and see, what are those patterns that I'm still giving life through motion, through acting up on them?
Yeah. Yes, I've seen my own. Absolutely. It's still a journey. It's constant.
That's why we hear us say, I'm on a soul journey. I'm not perfect, and I'm not even trying to be perfect. I'm just trying to figure out how to live in alignment, in tune, in my natural rhythm, and be a channel of love. I want to be. I gave my word, not only, and I meant it when I was there, and Zarius helped me turn on the light.
Oh, yeah.
I gave myself, my soul, a promise that I would follow the guidance of spirit.
That's a wonderful thing to do, because then the universe knows exactly what you want. Now you're telling exactly what you want. You're being very clear. That's what you said. You need clarity. And that's been happening to me too. This whole year, I have slowed down to a crawl in so many ways, because it's like, what am I meant to do really? What's coming up? Like, I love doing this. Of course, this is amazing to help me, bring people, this wonderful people like you, and all this amazing insights and information to help them get clarity, as well as me. We all are on our journey together, and you get what you need, no matter whatever you're called to listen to. So what you're saying is so powerful. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it makes so much sense. The sustainable growth. I mean, I was thinking, it was I was trying to figure it out, but I couldn't. I needed to hear it from you. So,
well, I'm glad, because I mean, it's just words, and it's
but it's words that were powerful. There was something about it. Yeah.
And I always tell people that, because when working in that spiritual realm, words become limited in a lot of ways. And when I meet people, when I speak with you, I'm more occupied not by the words you choose, but the kind of energy that you put into what you speak.
Yeah.
That resonates with me. I mean, like, I speak a foreign language, and I do not have the same vocabulary as you. I try my best, and I might use some words wrong. But my hope is that people will understand by the energy I put into it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we can understand each other. We do not have to speak the same language. We can speak the language of love, right?
That's so true. Isn't that how couples meet that don't really speak the language and they fall in love and somehow they're speaking that language of love and then they manage to create a life together. And then all of a sudden everything starts falling into place. Yeah, I have a friend who married the daughter married a guy from Greece and he spoke, not a lot of English, but and his family speaks very little too, but he's definitely a whole lot better, but she's learning some of that and it's helping him learn English more, and it's amazing. I mean, it's just like it was never a barrier. It was love that was that all mattered. It was the love. It was just love. And oh my gosh, isn't that incredible to think about that? And she's a great example of what you're saying, because I've seen them just grow and grow and they're so happy. It's just the way it is. And love is the source. And so yeah, this is amazing what you're
And
sharing.
you're doing the exact thing, Janet. You are sharing that love by bringing us together in unity,
Yes.
different perspectives, all wanting to serve through their mission, serve their purpose, and help and serve where we can.
Yeah.
And some people might resonate with the way I present things. Some people might resonate with others. There's nothing better or worse. It's just a different way of understanding. We're different.
Yeah.
We're unique in our own way. And being comfortable within that, I think, is so powerful. And
I agree.
seeing truly who we are. Nothing is a competition. We've taught that everything should be measurable, good or bad, or,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, it's not how the world, the true sense of self operates. It is pure love. It just wants joy, to spread love, to be compassionate, to be joyful.
Yeah.
And it's a choice. And we can choose every time we feel like, of course, when I meet people, not all people resonate with me, but I do not discriminate. It
Right.
is like Zarya said, on a soul's journey, we are all one. In
Mhm.
spirit, we are all alike. And knowing this, there is no discrimination. I live by those words. I think these words are so right for this time and for this shift and what we're going through. And to unify, to find that oneness, it is, yes, I don't have words.
Mm.
Spirit is, yeah.
The oneness is it's so and to feel, I can feel that from you. I can feel that from when you share that. It's just incredible that the words that you're sharing they have such power behind them, because I can feel the love involved in that, and I think everyone feeling it is so wonderful. So oh my goodness. So Zarius is an amazing channel. So he's always been with you. So do you know where he's from? I mean, just to tell us a little about Zarius. What's he all about?
Well, Zarius, like I said, I've had him with me for as long as I can remember. And the first time I actually consciously can remember in this lifetime was in my mother's womb.
Oh wow.
So I remember doing a life between lives, and I was brought back into my mother's womb. And this facilitator asked me, what do you do? And I said, well, I'm here with my guide, my spirit guide. Well, what's his name? His name is Zarius. And that's when I got his name for the very first time.
Really? Oh my
Yes,
goodness.
because I had called him Gabriel, like Archangel
Okay.
Gabriel, my whole life.
Wow.
And he said, well, we're not that focused on names up here. You can call me whatever, as long as you listen. That's all we need.
That's great. That's great.
So, but after that, when I connected with him, he was the one who showed me, he met me, he purified me on the gateway over to the spirit world. He was my teacher. I was with him at Atlantis. He was on my master's board. He was with me. And that's how I got introduced to the Order of Seven. And so that's how I started to channel their beings. So I started with Zarius, and it was kind of interesting because I didn't know anything about channeling. I haven't even Googled it. I did not know anything. And so when he said, I need you to step aside, I go, step aside? How do you step aside? And he said, do you trust me? And I go, yes, why shouldn't I trust you? I mean, I promised I would trust you. So he said, I'll do it slowly. And so it was an amazing experience. I was doing a cleansing. I was sitting, I was just meditating and doing a cleansing. And he steps forward and said, now I can take over your physical body. So step aside. And I go, okay, step aside. Just allow. And so I could feel my consciousness kind of drift away and step out of my body. And I felt this warm heat of energy just coming through my crown and down into my body. And I just sat there consciously observing somebody else in my body.
That's incredible.
So that's how it kind of, he trained me or kind of prepared me for, we want to come in as we channel. And it took me quite a long time to, now I've channeled him like 7 years, 3 to 4 times a week for a group of people. So over 7 years now, actually. So he's trained me, but in the beginning, it took me like 20 minutes to get ready just to have him get in. Now it's like, okay, we're coming. Okay, move ahead. So now it's more quick, but it's been a journey in understanding and feeling and trusting.
Yeah.
Trusting.
It's the trust. Yeah.
Yes. And I think that's kind of important to just acknowledge to anybody who's, not trusting their power or their gift. Practice. I mean, I practice allowing and putting myself in a situation and not trying to control. That's the thing, not to control, but just to allow. And I've had some amazing channelings come forward, and it's outside of my control. Like I told you, Janet, I don't know what's going to happen today.
Right.
The only thing we can say is we're open and willing. And if they're willing, they will step forward. But usually when I do interviews, they're next to me. So if anybody has a gift, they might see now where Zarius is next to me. Because he's pretty visible for the trained eye.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And usually you might see orbs, but colorful orbs, but there's usually an energy that's kind of bigger, wider that you can sense around when I'm speaking or doing interviews or so always allowing myself to be guided by spirit, like I promised, so that I can speak the words of love and to be true to that channel, not to have the ego mind interfere. So that's why I usually stop when I can't find the words. I just have to reconnect and see, can I use that kind of word? That's being conscious about what you want to bring to the world. And I'm just using myself as an example. I think everybody should do that practice. When you speak, where does it come from? What's the intention behind your words?
Yeah. That's so true. It's so true. I have to catch myself because I like to, sometimes I don't want to preach, but you want to plant a seed. It's kind of like planting a seed. That's my intention. So it's like a fine line.
But Janet, may I ask you something?
Sure.
I have an energy coming forward right now. His name is Chief of the Holy Land. I actually met him when I was in Sedona with a group of people in 2016. He came into my hotel room actually after we had done a healing session.
Sedona.
And after that session, he guided me through. We went on Bell Rock, and I remember people collecting rocks from the mountain. And he stopped and he told me to let the people know that was on Bell Rock, moving down from the mountain, who had picked those rocks, to inform them that that was a sacred place and to please put the rocks back because they have energy cords running in support of that sacred area. So they would be destroying the energy flow in that unique area because there's been so many people walking on that mountain. So it's been turned down. So specific areas needs to be protected. And the earth does that, and nature spirit does that. But if we go and remove the places where the energy is transmuted and sent, it destroys the whole. Now we're going into destroying the energy, not only walking on the soil, but we're destroying the energy flow.
Wow.
And so I yelled out, "Stop! Please put the rocks back." And I just made sure that everybody that walked down that month had put their rocks, and nobody had rocks in their pockets. And after that, he said, "Now I'm in service to you." And from that point on, he has come and go, coming back and giving messages. And I feel the sense that he wants to bring some messages for us here today.
Sounds wonderful. Okay.
I must, you've never seen me channel, Janet. So I'm just gonna say that he is pretty loud.
Okay.
So if I scream, please do not get worried, because I have done that. So
Okay.
I'm just warning you, because now I'm here by myself. I usually have people assisting. So
Okay.
now
And
you
so
know.
the audience is prepared, that we know that you can get loud, so don't get nervous or worried. This is just part of, what is his name again?
Chief of the Holy Land.
Chief of the Holy Land speaking to us right now. Oh my goodness, this is so wonderful. Thank you.
I just need a moment
Yes.
to allow. So thank you. Ika now, Ika now, Ika now. Children of Mother Earth, we greet you today and talk to you in unity with all life to create the new patterns to support the life of the 5D. Humanoids walking on Mother Earth today is ready to open themselves up for the new dimension of unity, where you as humans will walk hand in hand with all life, creating a new earth where all love is what you as human race will experience. Now, as you walk with peaceful footsteps, know, my friends, that you are guided by spirit. You are living in tune with the vibration of Mother Earth, allowing her sense of peace, the harmony that she gives her children. And as you bless her with your peaceful footsteps, you will understand, my friends, that as one, you will lift the vibration, you will allow it to soar, and you will help all creatures of Mother Earth raise into the new vibration of the 5D. If you are ready now, my friends, you will receive this download. We open yourself up now to the heart vibration, allow it to flow down as we now bring you the vibration of the new earth. Who are ready to acknowledge themselves in the new era? If you acknowledge yourself, then allow yourself to receive this download. Download is coming now. Open your hearts, please.
Yeah.
Receiving download. And as you now receive the downloads, your energy down to your DNA will realign itself for you to walk forward with peaceful footsteps. It will give you more clarity to move forward on life. You will see yourself with new eyes, allowing yourself to be true to who you are, the organic self that now shall reside within your human self. Your shell of the human race will soon know what we speak of, but you will need to be present within your physical bodies to acknowledge what we are speaking. Your job, my friends, humans must accept the vibration by allowing it to be a part of your human experience, by choosing, my friends, choosing to walk with peaceful footsteps. That is what I'm here to let you know today, my friends. Be in line with what your tune says, your line of vibration, your natural rhythm. This is what the dimension of unity is all about. You have received the download.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So be it.
Dear friends, this is Mother Tresna. As you walk on Mother Earth, my sister planet, you are walking with peaceful footsteps by bringing hope, the crystal light of hope. We ask you to look within and to see the ignition in your heart. the vibration that connects you to hope. We ask you to give of your hope to Mother Earth and all her creatures. The vibration given will acknowledge and create the rainbow path, allowing you and your divine power to be part of that rainbow. You are light warriors. You are torchbearers. You are all the divine power manifested on Mother Earth. And your mission, my friends, is to carry that light in self-love and to allow that unconditional love to radiate, to bring that hope back up on Mother Earth. Please, my friends, look within your crystal light and allow it to shine in peace, harmony, and unconditional love for my sister, Mother Earth. Dear friends, this is Zadia speaking. We greet you and thank you for allowing us to be here present, to give those important words of wisdom, to enlighten and reconnect you to Spirit. Spirit is here. Spirit is all around. And all you need, my friends, is now to look within. If you achieve to look within, you choose to look within, you give attention to your soul, you will allow now the guidance of Spirit to move you forward in life. You choose your footsteps. You choose your life. The fear of low vibrations, today, release it. Allow it to be removed. Be clear of who you truly are. That is what we as unity is all about. Oneness. We are one with you and you are one with us. A perfect harmony, a natural rhythm. And we ask you to trust in that rhythm. Your rhythm. Your rhythm. Your rhythm. Thank you and farewell.
Thank you for that. Oh my goodness.
I just need a glass of water.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for that, Vibecke. That was amazing. The chief, and I didn't write his name down, but I have to write his name down. Chief of the Holy Lands.
Yes, you're right.
And then you had Tresna.
Mother Tresna came.
Mother
Okay,
Tresna.
so I have to check within myself who's been here because I can feel their essence, but not always am I conscious of who's been forward. So I'm glad they introduced themselves. They don't always do that. So thank you.
Zarius came through.
Oh, Zarius. Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yes, it was wonderful. And Mother Tresna, that would be so interesting for people to know who that is, because she talked about her sister planet Earth. And Mother Tresna, isn't she a planet?
Yes, she is the planet in the Tresna Imperium. Mm-hmm. And I remember asking where that Imperium or galaxy is. Mm-hmm. And the only way they could describe it to me, so my human self could understand, is that if you look at Mother Earth is right here, mm-hmm. and Tresna is right here, they're so close but they're separated by dimensions. So you could say that if you took a sock and you stick your hand in and you just did the other way around, it's like a masterpiece. You have the masterpiece of Mother Earth is Mother Tresna.
Okay.
So what she explained was that the souls, and hopefully since Mother Earth came forward, or Mother Tresna came forward, somebody is watching who feels a connection to Tresna and is carrying the soul or energies frequency of what they call as Tresninans.
Yes.
And if you have been on a journey on Tresna as a soul, you've been there to create that beautiful planet. So what she said is the souls, some of the souls are now on Mother Earth to assist in doing the exact same thing as you managed to do on Tresna. So Tresna is a harmonious planet where everyone lives in unity. Everything is vibrating within oneness. It's the unconditional love. Everybody, it's the most freeing experience you can imagine as a human. Everyone just lives in harmony. It's euphoria. I mean, it sounds amazing. If we could manage to have that kind of peace on Earth, that would be, the ultimate. I mean, a peaceful heart brings peace to the environment, brings peace to humans, to situations, to the global scale. So it's so important for the Tresninans because Tresninans allows the hope. I mean, all humans have hope. We have hope for our lives, our personal life, for humanity, for Mother Earth. When you tune into, when you anchor that self-love and your hopes become something much, much greater. It's a hope, but it's the frequency of it. It should be another word actually, but they call it hope. But that's my mind, because it's just such an amazing power that is already in crystals. This kind of hope is found in crystals, specific crystals. So that's why we use a lot of crystals in our work in healing the planet and healing, water, the elements, or whatever we choose to use the crystals for, but in healing processes, if you wish. And everyone who's Tresninans has that strength of hope they carry from Tresna. They carry that crystal vibration. So if they live in tune and they start that oneness journey, they anchor that self-love, and they activate the Tresninans, because it has to be activated through the oneness. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to facilitate it. It's a gift. I mean, it's like giving or winning the lottery. I'm using human terms. If you get that part, if you activate that power, what you can really do for for all life, for the people you most love, for everyone. I mean, I don't have words for that. That's what we're waiting for. People to connect and start facilitating all those frequencies that's in the 8th chakra, laying there waiting for us to just start facilitating from previous lifetimes or other worlds. And Tresninans is just one of those. Wow. So I've been blessed to meet some of those people who carry Tresninans, but because there's no coincidences. So some people come into my office and we're going to do a soul journey, life between lives, and they end up on Tresna. And they don't even know about Tresna, and they say it's Tresna, and I go, no question, I know about Tresna, channel Mother Tresna. So it's amazing. Yes.
That is so beautiful. I knew about Tresna because we have chatted about Tresna, and it was like, wow, it was so powerful. And I'm so happy that she came through, because it was just beautiful. It was just beautiful what she shared. And I can't remember all of it. I was just trying to be in the moment, but it was just amazing what she shared, and just talking about, mostly they all shared the oneness, to be in the oneness and the unity. The chief was so powerful. He was so powerful. And I have such connections to Native Americans because here's one of my guides, and here he is. And
Yes.
this is Buckskin Charlie, and
Mm.
the Ute. He's a Ute chief. He's from the Ute tribe. I think that's how you say it, a Ute, UTE. I don't know how to say it correctly, but I call it Ute. But I was actually on their lands with my husband when we did a trip through Colorado, and we went through Utah, and I think it was in Utah. Their lands are in Utah, and we were on a cliff, and it was the Ute Mountain, and I was like, oh, I'm meant to be here. It was so beautiful to be there in that place. I was like, wow. And this was an amazing channel that this person did this work. He literally, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but he had crayons in a box. And he said it took him 13 years to have this actually work. And I can't even tell you the process name because it was so new to me. But I went, and you wrote your name on this card. It was a blank card. We put it in the box, and he talked about that you have an intention, and all your guides that that are with you right now will come through on that picture. So this is your guide, main guide, and then there were others, but I have a bunch of others on the back. I have John the Beloved, Dr. Helmholtz, Ramananda, Dr. Rita Levi, Montekani.
Amazing.
Isn't that incredible? But it took him 13 years. He was trained by somebody, and I wish I could think. I have no clue what the name of this was, but it was, and I had never heard of it. I just happened to be told about it. And I said, well, I have to experience this. And I went, and it was incredible. And this is who I got as my guide. And so I always have been connected to Native American guides, always. And so when you brought through the chief right away, I was like, oh, that's so awesome, because I didn't know you had a chief in that order of 7. That's part of the order. Are there certain?
No, he's not. He came
Oh,
way later.
from the Sedona area.
Yes.
Yeah, that was so
So
powerful.
I never know when he comes. But he's all about, protecting, walking with peaceful footsteps, sacred land, assisting Mother Earth, and bringing and aligning us to experience and be part of the new grids that's created.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely, makes so much sense. And Mother Tresna, she's part of the Order of 7, I would imagine.
Yes.
Yeah, her and Zarius. Yeah.
So if you look at this, this is my necklace. I channeled this.
Beautiful.
It's actually what would you call it? It's a tool that I work with when I do healing work. And so there's 7 crystals here representing each in the order, and it's aligned as a star. So they're all together, like in oneness. And it's the tree that's holding it is a separation of the 3. It's a 5-dimensional necklace. So it works on it only activates when you're in working on the rainbow path, when you're in that vibration of oneness. So when I use it, it's more for me as a reminder of being a pure channel. But when I work, I use it, and I have it around my head, and it's over my 3rd eye, and it activates and strengthens my healing power. So they're working through me in a more profound way. And so the 3, what do you call it? Little 3 that's separated here, it represent Mother Earth, humanity, and the universe.
Oh, wow.
So, and it starts from the outside of the ring to acknowledge that divinity and the source. It's all the creation of the one.
Beautiful.
So it's very powerful. And like I said, Jen, I'm not a jewelry designer, but I must say, when I get messages also from the book, they said, you need to publish this, you need to do this, I find a way. Yes. I promise to be guided by spirit. So that's what I do.
So do you make that necklace? Do you sell it?
Yes. Actually, we made is for the nonprofit. So they have the rights. So they sell it, and we use it to wear it. It's can represent the chakras, because the order is associated with the chakras. And what they say is that when they come forward when I work, like discovering your life path, when I assist people in discovering their life path, it's soul work. And so usually people have trouble eliminating or connecting with their soul because of the ego mind. So the order comes forward and they become, what would you say? I would say maybe they're doing a soul reading for the person. So I facilitate that. And so when they come forward, you could check your chakras and how it resonates when they assist.
Wow.
When they answer the question. So it's also a tool to open up for the self-love so that you can actually work on the 5-dimensional journey of the rainbow path.
Beautiful. And so do you send it all over the world?
I'm sure we can. I don't know, Janet, but I'm sure we can.
People listening, we love things like that are very powerful, and it's definitely calling me.
And I must say, if I can show you my book,
Sure, absolutely.
Awaken to the Power of the Universe.
Yeah.
So this is actually it's all verbatim. So it's just channeled messages, and it is what would I say? I'm asking them, how would I say this? You need to be open to, it's not the first read, if you understand what I'm saying. It's not the book you start with when you're opening yourself up to the guidance of spirit. It is answering low vibrational questions as well, but the way they channel can be daunting for the human mind. It can be challenging for the ego mind. And if you're limited by dogmas, for instance, it can be quite challenging.
Oh, how interesting. Now, is that on Amazon?
Yes, it is.
Oh, how cool. Because I haven't, I'm going to have to purchase that because I haven't done that yet. I usually do, but I'm like, not yet. I had to hear from you more about things. So it's a wonderful, oh my goodness. Well, we've been talking a long time and that was so special. Oh my goodness. So thank you so much for bringing that through and allowing us to experience this work that you do and the beings that you bring through. I mean, we are so blessed. I mean, my energy in my hands were just off the charts.
Did you get download? I just got a message that you received downloads.
Oh, absolutely. My hands were on fire. And especially with Mother Tresna, as I say that, I can feel them light up again. Yeah, it was incredible. It was incredible.
How amazing that. Thank you. That's a blessing.
Thank you. I am feeling blessed. I was like at tears going, oh my goodness. So it was just beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Unexpected, but thank you. Loving this, just so grateful. This is why this work is so rewarding. See, it's bringing tears to me. And I guess, if you don't feel it, it's not real. Right? Yeah. So, all right. I know this has been it's been wonderful. Such a great moment. And so I know that I just want to ask you, what else has benefited you? Just this, couple last questions. What has benefited you during this time that has made you really look at things in a different way since this whole pandemic crisis has started?
That's a great question because I was warned by Zara's and Daughter of Seven. It's actually a video on YouTube when I had a, what would you call it? A workshop in Las Vegas at a I think it was the Massinger Healing Institute, and they came forward and they spoke about the shift that was going to happen, and that a lot of people would choose to leave, that not everyone would make it. And of course, we had no clue what that would look like. I didn't know how that would look like, but we've been preparing for this. And actually, the whole book was 7 years prior to this because they wanted to prepare us for what's to come. So I know there's a lot of light workers out there, and if you're watching and you feel that it's been coming, there's been something within you that you felt that there is something greater coming.
Mm-hmm.
This is the time.
Yeah.
The time is now. And so when this happened, I had just been on a TV show in Norway. And so I was in kind of, it was, what do you call it, not as spiritual. It was a reality show. It was the most popular reality show in Norway. And so I was there as myself. And I, of course, being the way I am, it's not suitable for everyone, if you understand. Everyone who's not open to this won't, take to me. And that's okay. But the external events of being there and all the publicity, it made me, and then the pandemic came, I felt it was a gift. It was such a gift because the focus and the way of having to be with my family, the people I love, to reconnect, to have peace and solitude, to go within, to release, to make also be clear, all those external factors that had been such, driving me and trying to hold me and take me.
Distract.
Yeah.
Well,
I
yes.
just felt like I spent the year just going inside and knowing that. And I feel blessed knowing that we were in the shift and knowing. So I would say patient, Janet, to answer your questions really simple. I learned to love patience, if I could say it this way. I just be patient. I don't need to know everything is fine, to trust and be patient. Be trust and be patient. Trust in spirit. So it was more like testing me again to really be true to who I am. So trust and allow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful that you shared that. Yeah, for me too. I feel like it was a test in so many ways. That where do you truly stand? Are you really on your path that you choose? You say you are, because it's a lot of choosing going on.
You're right. It is.
And so, boy, we get pressured left and right.
Mm-hmm.
But I
We
know
do.
where I stand, and I know how I will stand there forever, no matter what.
Oh, that makes me happy because knowing that you're standing grounded, I'm grounded, and hopefully the people who's watching feeling more grounded. We in unity, we are a force to be reckoned with. Remember that little light that just shine and just the darkness just disappeared?
Mhm.
That's how powerful we can be if we walk with peaceful footsteps.
Yeah.
You do not have to scream the loudest, peaceful footsteps.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the hardest thing right now with everybody. It's peaceful footsteps because so much is popping up for people. Like we're looking at ourselves in all the different ways, and we're having to be with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good thing in so many ways because we don't ever look at ourselves and or be with ourselves alone. We always are taken away, like you said, external working. So that is so beautiful. Thank you for that. And well, any other message, final message for people? Like that was your message from you, which I love. Anything special that you want to say to the people that they need to hear for the rest? I love how you said we're in the shift. So we've been in the shift since what, 2017, 2013?
No, we're what they say energy wise. It's different dimensions. So the energy just reached the physical level in 2020.
Well, that was the portal opening, right? Over
Yeah,
the solstice in
yeah,
December. Yeah, that was the final. That was the big one. That was the
yeah.
big one that brought us
So
in.
we were all experienced it. If you're in tune and sensitive, you know what's coming.
Yes,
You felt it, but that's when it kind of hit.
yes. It's
Yeah,
amazing what that was. I thought that's what you were talking about. And I'm like, I think that's what she meant.
yes,
That is huge. It
yes.
was so powerful
Mm.
that we're all here and we're still here. We're meant to be here. Yeah.
So you asked me, Janet, if I had some final words, and I want to repeat myself, if I may, and
Absolutely.
that is the loving words from Zarius. To remember that on a soul's journey, we are all one. In spirit, we are all alike. And in
Mm,
knowing this, there is no discrimination.
yeah. Wow. Those are the most gorgeous words. So thank you so much for that, Vibeke. And I always thank our audience. So thank you all for being here. And I hope you enjoyed this, because I don't, if you didn't, I don't know. I mean, listen to it a few more times because then you're going to get everything you need from this, because this was extremely powerful. And so blessed. And so we love you to share comments too. So if anything happened, just let us know, because, you know, Vibeke, you can write to Vibeke, write to me, Own Your Divine Light at Gmail. Everything will be below in the emails you get. You'll get all the info. And Vibeke, did we share your gifts? No, we didn't ask you what your gifts were that you shared for people. I forgot about that yet. We want to share.
Yes,
Vibeke?
I would love to give them a gift. And that is, of course, the 7 key elements
Yes.
to mastering your soul purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Mastering it, I mean, if you found your purpose, that's amazing, but how to master it.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about now in this shift.
Mm-hmm.
You've found your purpose. If you haven't, this will definitely bring you closer to the understanding of what is your purpose. But knowing how to facilitate it and become a master of your own energy in that motion is so essential for the journey moving forward. So these 77 key elements is given by the Czars in the Order 7. And so I teach that. So it's a master class. And I've also enclosed a heart vibration activation meditation so that you can activate your heart before you look at or watch the masterclass. And you can use it. It's only 8 minutes, but it's such a wonderful way to start the morning. To center yourself, open your heart, and have that pure intention of being a pure channel, and just go and do your day.
Wow.
Live your day. So that's my gift, and I hope they will enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah. And then you had another offer. You had another.
Yes, I have an offer. I really do this, so I'm pretty excited. So now they're able to work with me one-on-one, and to discover your life path, which means just a few things that goes in with discovering your life path is that I will allow Zaris in the Order of 7 to be the channel for your soul, to strengthen that connection so that you can discover that life path. That life path is where all your superpowers resides, all your resources. So it's more or less a clarity session. This is something that usually I do this kind of work for a longer period of time, but this is just to get a feel and a clarity on what you need to do, where you want to go if you want to follow your heart, so that you can separate yourself from the ego mind, so you can be whole in your decisions. That's the intention behind that offer, if you wish.
That's so special. Yeah, because you kept talking about being your natural self, being who you're meant to be. That's exactly what we're meant to be, natural. That is a key word. And what is natural? There's a lot to that word if you really look at it. So what a powerful gift. Thank you so much, Vibeke. That is so wonderful. So take advantage of that, people. This is a very special offer on the show. So I hope you take advantage of that, because you've seen Vibeke and what she does. And oh my goodness, it's just incredible. And that's just the tip of the iceberg there. So thank you, Vibeke. Oh my goodness, you are an amazing, amazing light of love. And there's a blazing, I don't know, you're like a beacon. You're like, I don't know, you're like your own planet almost, because you have so much that you're just blazing with. It's really,
I'm just reconnected with my star, Janet. We're all up there, just
well, your star
shining.
is blazing. It's so gorgeous, and it just sparkles. And you just sparkle with the light that you bring through, and it's so beautiful. And we're so grateful for all that you do and for humanity and for the earth, and that you share with us today. And just so blessed, so blessed. Thank you again for being here. So grateful to have you here.
Thank you. And I loved speaking soul to soul, heart to heart. So thank you for having me. It was a great pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. And I am Isla Serona Miller, and I will see you on the next episode.